Hey there, George here from Stress with Sampling, and in this video I'll be taking a closer look at the recording and development process behind Diamond Jazz Orchestra, along with giving information about the technical specifications of the library. We recorded some of the most prominent members of the Sofia jazz scene, namely the BRAZZ association led by VELISLAV, STOYANOV and MIHAIL YOSSIFOV, who have been a personal inspiration of mine for quite some time. It is really hard to take a music genre that is mostly associated with improvisation and going beyond borders and split up the notes into tiny WAV files for a sample library. This is why we pushed our concept of performance-based sampling even more this time. The decision to get a very dry space for the recordings was a hard one. We could have recorded in the big stage of Sofia Session Studio A, but then people wouldn't be able to use this in a different context, for example EDM, hip-hop, pop music. That's why we took the decision to use this dry space in order to potentially give more freedom to people for post-production afterwards. To get things right, we took about 4 or 5 months for the entire recording process. Usually we would get the principal player of the group to record the solos and afterwards do the ensemble recordings. In this way we get as much of a matching sound for the articulations as possible. So the performers would know what the attack should be, what the difference between marcato, staccato and staccatissimo length would be. After we recorded the brass group, we also went back and recorded the slightly detuned solo piano, the guitars, clarinet and alto flute. The entire process took about 1.5 years afterwards, going through the instruments manually, adjusting offsets, balancing volumes between round robins and legato intervals, trying to even out the sound between groups and solos. Approximate size of the library is about 80 GB with NCW compression and encoding, and the library will have full NKS functionality, and if you have a complete control keyboard or machine, you'd be able to tweak the GUI controls from there. When we recorded the library, we kept things really simple. Coase ribbon mics were used for the spot mics, which are summed under close, and a Neumann USM69 stereo microphone for the room microphone position. There are a few exceptions like the saxophones, clarinet, flute and bass that use a different spot mic, or the drum kit and percussion that had more microphones set up to capture as big of a picture as possible. We had our friend and collaborator ANGELIA VIHROVA share a special impulse for KONTAKT's built-in convolution reverb. This time we aimed for a sound closer to a jazz club. As I've mentioned on most of the walkthrough videos, based on feedback for our previous libraries, we really wanted to get Diamond Jazz Orchestra as consistent as possible. This is why you'd see the same set of articulations available. Same goes for the longs. They all have non-vibrato, slow vibrato, fast vibrato and flutter sustains, with just a few exceptions. All the non-vibrato layers have 2 sets of sustains triggered by velocity, accented and non-accented sustains. One thing that I also want to mention is that all legato patches have 2 round robins of legato intervals. There are 5 round robins for the short, so that if you write in, for example, 4/4, you won't hear repetitive 1-bar figures. There are a large collection of mutes, which we also try to record consistently within the solo instruments. You get straight mutes, cup mutes, HARMON mutes, and within the principals, you would hear some really cool plunger and HARMON wah patches. Anything else we've missed in the walkthrough videos, you can see on the help screens. And if you like the instrument, you can also see information about our talented performers. Thank you for watching this general info video, and till the next time.